All right, we should be good. Hello, everyone. I am Brute, and I'm here with Apollo and Artie, and we're back with episode 2 of the podcast. Just want to say thank you all for the support in the last video. It blew up. I didn't think it'd blow up like that at all. And thanks to everyone who spread the word. That was pretty cool. And yeah, say hi, guys.
Hello, thanks everybody.
So we are here. I feel like the starting of podcasts are always the most awkward bits for people because just getting like the ball going can be like difficult.
Yeah.
So I showed you both an article today about the CDC and zombies.
Yeah.
And so I want to get both of your opinions on it before I talk about my opinion.
1, 2, 3, not it.
Go ahead, Paul.
So do you mean opinions on the specific article?
On everything. What do you like? So obviously there's the whole like this person thought that a zombie outbreak would happen this year. I didn't do enough research to know if his other prophecies have came true. But what do you think about it all? Like, do you think it's gonna like rise the masses in like mass terror?
No, not at all. I think the majority of people, they have other concerns at the minute. There's a lot going on. But at the same time, because there's so much going on, I wouldn't put it past it. Like, if we just had a casual zombie outbreak, sure. Why not?
Why not? We're already so
And
deep in shit.
Exactly. So, like, I don't even think it's impossible at this point. I just don't think it would go, like, full on, like, World War Z, Walking Dead. I feel like it would be, like, much more
I think the government would contain it very quickly.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so we talked about it a little bit earlier. What would you do if it happened?
I'll leave this to Artie.
Oh, I die.
Here's the opinion first.
I die. That's it. I'm dead.
I die.
Bye, everybody. Bye. I'm gone. Have a nice apocalypse. Bye.
It's over for me.
I'm not saying I just give up because I wouldn't. But I know just sitting here, like, I would not last in a zombie apocalypse. I mean, I'd be okay for like a nice like last stand type deal. I would probably go out pathetically and whimper a bit, but I mean, you know, just like I'm not a survivor type like that.
Apollo told me what he'd do in a zombie apocalypse, and he said he'd go out.
I said where Artie said he wouldn't give up. What's up on giving up? Why would you want to survive it?
Well, Artie has a family.
Yeah,
he has stuff to protect.
Number one.
That would be one reason for it doing it, I suppose.
But it's the great thing about being like, you know, like a loner though. Like, you know, if you got only yourself to worry about, then you're fine. You're actually like more adept at doing things then.
I mean, I have friends, I have family, but like, what are you gonna do? The world's ended. Calm down. You don't need to survive. It's fine. Just let it take its course.
Just let it happen.
Everyone go out together. We'll have one last hurrah.
Just one pack.
That's
one last meal. Put a little cyanide in the drinks. Nobody will know.
Oh, it's like that. It's like the Kingdom Invasion in the Witcher show.
I haven't watched that yet.
Start. Oh, then I'm not saying a damn thing. Whoops.
I've been meaning to watch that, but so my idea is
really good.
I bet my idea for a zombie apocalypse is that I wouldn't care if I survived, but I'd be like, man, I just want to kill some zombies. Like, let's go. Like, so. Yeah,
that'd be so difficult.
I hope if this happens, if a zombie apocalypse were to happen, I would hope that it happened on the same day Resident Evil Village came out. Because, man, that'd be such a plot twist. That's what I was thinking about. That's what I wanted to talk about, like, the whole time. Could you imagine, on the day that game came out, zombies started rising? Man, that'd be awesome.
Genuinely, people would think it's a PR stunt.
Yes.
Like, it would just be like, oh.
And no one would be paying close enough attention for at least a week until people started, like, beating it and then paying attention to it.
They were like,
wait a second, what's going on?
This is still going on. And my mom hasn't texted me back in like a week. But yeah, I think
my girlfriend hasn't come back home in at least the week I've been playing this game.
My dog just crawled out from the grave in the back. It's a little odd.
What is all
Gee, the
yelling?
neighbor keeps making these really loud sounds and banging on the walls at all hours of the night.
Huh. I've been hearing constant screaming through my headphones. Thought it was just a game.
That's because you're playing Resident Evil Village.
Exactly. I think Apollo would be fine. Apollo would find out and he'd be like, well, as long as there's internet, it's fine. He would just stay in
Yeah.
his shed. I don't know what he'd do about food.
Don't even need it. That's what I said though. Like I'll like survive a zombie apocalypse as long as it's not interfering with me. The second I either have to like go without internet / electricity and have to start like roughing it in the wild, take me out. I don't need to be there for it. Like if I have to start fighting for my life, no. Bother with that. No, never. And then like I don't know, I've just struggled. Like I don't want to go through any pain. So
Like if you
I'm
like
not.
twisted your ankle, you're not for that.
No. Like if I got bit and like there's some wild people who like chopping off arms and stuff because they got bit. No, I'm not doing that. Let me be a zombie. On the other hand, though, I would want to be a zombie.
You would want to be a zombie?
Yeah, that would just be so fun.
You're not gonna know you're a zombie. You're dead.
You don't know that.
I guess. Yeah. Fuck it. I don't know that.
There's some mythos in zombie lore where people are actually just trapped inside and watching themselves like cannibalize people they know and loved ones and everything.
Amazing.
That's horrifying. That's actually probably like the worst thing about it.
Apollo's so for that.
And I'd be like,
totally.
I wouldn't want to be a zombie because I'd be one of the really stupid ones. Like I'd be one of the ones running in the wall constantly, drooling all over myself, like snarling. There'd probably be a little gas. It'd be awful. I would be sitting there in my own skull begging, saying like, please, please, I know you have an extra bullet. Put it through my fucking skull, please.
Take me out, please.
Please end me. It's like, yes, that means kill me.
Kill me. But so I thought it was interesting. I read the article a little bit. I skimmed through it, but they gave like a bunch of like survival tips, like have a gallon of water. It's like you're gonna need more than a gallon of water if there's a zombie apocalypse. But they didn't give really any like weapon suggestions, which I thought was funny. But I understand why not.
Yeah.
Well, they did say that they'd leave the weapon suggestions up to law enforcement because they're a center for disease control. They don't know about weapons.
Yeah, that's fair.
Like they're more so about just controlling the disease.
I think so. This is what I think would happen. I think it would, if it became huge enough worldwide, I think there'd start being bombings. But I think, let's say like it happened on like Australia or like Greenland or something. Or no, is it Iceland that's by itself? It's one of the two that's
You can say Ireland. You can say Ireland.
It's Ireland, but Ireland's surrounded by like countries, other countries. There's no water. So I'm thinking like, let's say Australia was like patient zero, but nobody can get in or out. I think it'd be like a train to Busan kind of situation where the governments would be like, well, we'll give you an option. We'll either nuke you or you can just tough luck. You're stuck there. And that's
rough.
It is rough. If you were in that situation, which would you prefer? Would you prefer to just get nuked or try to survive as long as you could? Because zombies would theoretically decompose.
Yeah. I mean, it's a difficult question because it's not all about me. Like, there's an entire country attached to my stupid ass at the moment. If I go, hey, nuke me, why do I get to say? Like, if I'm the president or something, maybe I have more leeway in that whole thing, or like whatever the leader in various countries are called. But like, if I was the leader of my country, maybe then I can make that decision. But is it really my decision?
Well, I don't think you really have the chance to like. Let's all take a vote real quick, while everyone's running for their lives.
Ladies and gentlemen of my country, I am sorry, but we're about to get nuked.
We're being nuked. Grab your loved ones. It's over. But
hold your loved ones. Hold yourself. Hold the dog. I don't care. We all going down.
We all going down together as I hide in my bunker.
It brings me great grief to say that I can't fit more than myself in my own bunker.
Yep.
Not because there's no space, because I simply don't want to.
Sounds about right. I think But then I think if it was like a global scale, I don't know what it would come down to. Like, do you think our militaries combined? I honestly think we'd be fine after like a
I don't
week.
think America would be fine.
You don't think so?
I don't. I don't. And for reasons I don't want to talk about online,
Okay.
I don't think America would be fine.
Okay, that's fair. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I I don't know. I think I think it's interesting, and I think it's out of the blue. And I wish I did a little more research to know about this guy named Nostradamus, who wrote a book in the 16th century, predicted zombies 400 years later.
Uh, I think he predicted a lot more than just zombies, and a few of his prophecies, from what I understand, have like come kind of true. I don't know a whole lot. I just know like hearsay and stuff that I've heard, like just growing up and everything. But yeah, like he's had a few predictions that are coming true. But at the same time, from the paragraph that the article wrote, it's like it's so obscure that it kind of like wide blanket covers things.
Hmm.
So at the same time, like the paragraph actually like describes what a lot of people are going through with COVID. So like, did he mean COVID or did he mean an actual zombie outbreak? I mean, we don't fucking. He's dead.
Yeah, he's dead, and his chapel's burned down, so we'll never really
Yeah,
know.
so like we don't have source material or like his thought process going through like any of these prophecies or anything. We have nothing.
Do you think it's gonna be like a 2012 situation? Like when all I know is that nobody should do any zombie pranks this year
Probably not.
at all. Zombie prank videos have gotten really scary on YouTube lately.
Prank
I've
videos on
never seen
YouTube have
them.
always been scary though.
Those clown pranks were freaky.
Yeah.
It's gotten like
That
bad where like
happened.
people are like getting shot.
Yeah,
Kinda,
it's
like,
like YouTube
situation.
pranks in general.
You
are
haven't
just
heard
kinda
about
getting
this,
out of hand.
Apollo?
No.
There was some like kid who wanted to film a YouTube prank, and he like had a knife, ran at this family doing a barbecue, got shot by the dad, and it's so sad that his last words, I believe, were "It's just a prank." It's so sad, and I just
It's
couldn't imagine like that being like the way you went out. And it's all because he's seen. The thing is that when people do pranks on YouTube, us as adults know that most of the time it's fake. It is all planned, it's staged, acting, all this stuff. But then kids see this and they don't understand, which makes it a huge danger.
it's it's really unfortunate that people like can't
Distinguish.
distinguish like fake from real. And even if you do get away with like pulling a prank on someone that like isn't involved in everything, this there's so much crazy going on right now. Like, what did you expect to happen? You know, like
Yeah.
especially like running at a family with a knife. Like that dad was literally just trying to protect his family.
Yeah, and I don't see him being in the wrong at all. It's
No, he's
completely at the.
not.
It's, you know, I don't like speaking ill of the dead, but it's the kid's fault. But at the same time, it's not his fault because he's grown up watching all these silly YouTube prank videos where it's like, I tricked my girlfriend into thinking I was being an asshole or something. And it's like, oh, I'm going to do that. Ho, ho, ho. And it's like, well, now you're gone, buddy. Or like, what was that one? I remember Moist Critical talking about it, actually. It was the one with the girlfriend in the book, and
I don't.
she shot her boyfriend with a gun and was like, "This book will protect him," and it killed him.
Oh my god.
And I was
Yeah,
like,
it's pranks
"What the hell?"
What is
Prank-
the prank there? That just seems like murder.
Yeah,
That,
she went to jail. I
it pretty
think.
yeah, no, it pretty much is.
Yeah.
There's no prank. Like, hey, you just killed your boyfriend. I don't know what you were expecting.
Yeah, this little book's gonna protect you from this bullet. Like, come on. It's like, what the
Boy.
hell?
Boy,
Oh man, it's crazy. Like, YouTube's such a dangerous platform at times.
well,
And
like everything is a danger. Like if we elevate it to like that, YouTube. I don't believe YouTube's to blame at all. I believe people are to blame because there's several different things you'd apply that whole thing to. Everything can be a dangerous platform, but I will say, like, the content creator community is for every bad thing it has, I feel like it has at least 10 more good things. So to say it's just a dangerous platform, I think is it's just like a bad way to look at it, you know?
Yeah, I understand.
It's like, yeah, like in everything in this on this earth right now, there's a polar opposite, probably negative aspect to any good thing.
Well, yeah.
But I mean, I
Like
don't know.
flowers
Like,
are nice, but some people are allergic to flowers.
yeah, some people literally can't breathe when they inhale flower pollen.
Yeah, exactly. And
Like,
so
hey,
it's
cats are nice, but some are way too fucking big and can eat you.
yeah. There's always a negative, which sucks.
Yeah.
There will always be a negative to a positive. Just like, with magnets or whatever.
Yeah.
I think that's not a great comparison, but because magnets.
Whenever there's a positive, there's a negative. I mean, I got the reference.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
Just been some leaps in these comparisons, I will say.
And
like,
so, yeah. And I think that's just one way to put it. And then, so we were meant to talk about this last week. I'm kind of just completely going off course, but I wanted to talk to you both about like why you started streaming and stuff, because I had linked your Twitches down below, and everybody else's like Speaker and Slitter, even though Slitter hasn't really, he's been working a lot lately. Poor guy.
Yeah.
And so I want to start with Apollo because I think that's a better idea. Because I know yours is more important. Not more important, but yours is deeper than
he
his.
has an answer.
He has an answer. Apollo's had like 3 weeks to think of an answer.
That's right.
So
but then I thought we skipped on this section from last week, so I didn't think.
So, Apollo, in the best way you can, on the top of your head, what made you want to start streaming?
I mean, well, there's always that, like, obviously I played games a lot. I didn't actually really watch Twitch, like, at all before I started streaming last year. I fully would just, like, watch YouTube videos that really weren't even gaming, but, like, I knew there was a Twitch thing happening and people could, like, live stream and stuff. But I think it just got to a point when I was like, couldn't I just do that? I mean, like, I don't think I'm gonna make it big or anything like that, but like, can't I just like turn on a like OBS and just start streaming a game? And turns out I can.
I can do that.
So,
and you've got your own like little following going, and like you have emotes now. Didn't know you when you hit affiliate, but I knew you a little bit after you hit affiliate.
I think it was like 2 months into streaming that I hit affiliate, which I was like shocked and crazy about. I was like, oh damn, we're doing it.
We're going somewhere. And so, do you want to get big on Twitch?
I wouldn't hate it, but it wouldn't be my goal.
Do you think,
like, in life, I don't think like streaming isn't like my dream job or anything like that.
So if you hit it big on Twitch enough to where you could financially support yourself, would it worry you though, because now you're becoming an influence?
It wouldn't worry me, I don't think.
Right.
I definitely, like, the biggest worry would be like if I made it my sole income, that would be a worry. And I don't think I'd ever let it kind of come to that. I would find some side business, even if it was like somewhat related to Twitch, to try to like stay afloat, just because Twitch would be so unreliable of a paycheck.
Yeah.
But yeah, like the influencing side, I feel like I tried to stay positive and like spreading good messages in with all the filth.
All the filth, yeah. There's a lot of filth on your Twitch.
Yeah.
And so, all right, let's bring it over to Artie. I know you've had...
Actually, Brute, mine's a bit long-winded. Do you want to go first? Because I have things to say, and I don't want to take up a ton of time.
I'm down to be the star for a second. I started streaming actually in like 2015. Like before I even moved to California, I started streaming in this room when I had like a whole different group of friends. Like I had people like my friend Guac and Battle. I gave him the nickname Guac, like guacamole. because of the song Guacamole, guac. And so I had like a completely different. I had like a different following too. Like I had people that I will never probably see again on my Twitch channel. I think I saw one of them like once, but I don't know. Ever since I was a kid, I was. You can ask anyone who's in my family or has known me long enough. I've always wanted to be a streamer. It's my dream job. I've always wanted to make it big. And so I just started streaming. And at first, I was just streaming horror games. Like, I think my biggest one was Soma. And like, I was streaming that, and that's like the day I hit affiliate. And I was so excited. And then I got the big donation, and I did a 24-hour stream. And that's when like I was like, man, I could really do this. And then I just kind of hit like a clump where like I didn't have the stuff I needed to keep streaming. And then like in 2017, I just like kind of stopped streaming. And then I finally started streaming again in like October after I met Apollo and everyone was like, man, I could get back into streaming and like really have like some way of supporting myself and I can support these other people while doing it and grow like a family and like a team. And so I do want to get big on Twitch. That's like my dream goal. And I would love to be an influencer, even with my terrible opinions. Like I would have to definitely talk to people first and be like, "Is this smart to say?" No,
At
okay, I
least you're
won't say
open
it.
to learning. You're
I won't
open to
say it.
learning. I will say that.
Yeah, I'm definitely
That's
open to
fair.
learning. Like I wouldn't be the guy that's be like, it's already been on your stream, so I'll say it, and we won't talk about it. But I won't be like, minimum wage should stay the same. No, I'm not gonna. I'm not gonna be that kind of guy and ruin my career in a heartbeat. But I do think if I ever were to say something, I'd probably fact check with my friends and be like, "Am I gonna be stupid? Does this make me look stupid?
Is this a
No,
dick thing to say?
it's,
Because I feel like it might be, but I just need you to double check.
I need to double check because I am a dick of a person. I think when it comes like to the five of us, I might tie with like Apollo. I think I say the most controversial shit. I think out of
Oh,
all of
by
us,
far.
I bring up the most controversial shit possible. Where I'm having like debates in people's streams. I don't do it in
Why are
Artie
you
stream.
tying with me?
I usually just do it in Apollo stream. Well, because you brought up some really weird shit in your streams, like, you know, how far can the human anus stretch?
That's not controversial, though.
No,
That's informative. That's
Isn't
scientific.
it large enough to fit a small raccoon?
we brought up like eels and shit, like full
Ugh,
ass
There was,
eels.
there was. I don't know about the girt of what can fit, let's say, but there was a sizable length can not healthily fit up there, but can fit up there.
Can I just say that Marvel's a coward for not like following through on Operation Thanos?
You mean Ant Man up the butt?
Yes, Ant-Man up Thanos' ass. Yes, that's exactly what I'm saying. Marvel, you're a coward. You should have
Didn't
let us learn educationally how that works.
educationally? Didn't they say it wouldn't work? Didn't somebody do the science and was like it wouldn't work?
I think so. I think they decided that like according to the way the physics of Ant-Man works, he would just be trapped in Thanos' butt the entire fight, and most likely would.
What if you just tickle him? Just give him a little tickle. He'd just be
I love
trapped.
Paul's reaction. You broke me.
I'm just like, who did this research?
I must
Who
know.
sat down and did like
When
a
it-
college
When it was a
thesis?
super huge meme, like they did the research. I mean, it's out there. You can look for it.
Who did their college thesis on Thanos' asshole
I
and the
mean,
dynamics of Ant-Man's powers in relation to that?
there are people who
I mean, fair
follow
play
that.
to them.
Just a really good clench.
Anyway, getting back on topic, what else do you want to say, Brute?
I mean, that's about it, really. I would love to hit it big, man. Because then I would never have to go to work again. If I was comfortable enough to where I was not like on the Shroud level, where he's set for life, fuck. Like, oh my god. But if I could get like on a like, just like over a few hundred, I'd be happy. I'd be fine with that. But yeah, that's about it. And I think the most I've gotten, and it was because of a raid, was like over like 150 viewers. And I was like, this is cool. If only. Well, yeah, that's about it. All right, Artie, you can go on your long one.
Okay, so I don't want to make it very long because the reason I started streaming is growing up, I've got really bad self-esteem issues. I don't like myself at all. Like as much as a lot of people that follow me, like they know, because I'm really bad at myself. Speaker specifically is trying to make me not cut myself down a whole lot. But throughout my entire life, I had a lot of problems, like getting out there, being outgoing, doing whatever. And around when I was about 26, I just had like a great idea. Like, hey, I watch YouTubers, I watch content creators. It's really cool. I play video games. I mean, I really want to do this. So I talked to my friends about it. I got all these plans. I wrote down notes in a book somewhere, and I sat on it for 3 years because again, like my self esteem would literally not let me do anything about this. I never thought I was cool enough or good looking enough or kind enough or any reason I could think of. I couldn't like bring myself to do anything. And around my 30th birthday, I was like, you know what? Like I have all this pent up regret, and I just didn't want to, you know, wait anymore. And I've spent like all my life regretting not doing so many things. I just didn't want this to be another thing. So I started YouTube. I did that for about a year and a half, 2 years, I think. And it went a lot further than I thought it would. And I just wasn't getting enough out of YouTube that I wanted. That I started on Twitch, and I met like everybody, like Speaker and you guys, and it's kind of been like a really big blessing in my life. So thanks. If I hit it big, I don't know what I do. I really don't. I at first I'd be like, "Why are you guys following me? I'm an idiot." But it's just something I do. It's a good hobby to have. Like, and it helps pay for my video game addictions. So I mean, it's just nice to be able to like visit with people, like share emotions, that kind of stuff. And it gives me something to wake up and be happy about, be excited about. And like streaming is just like a really big nice thing for me. It's actually been a really big positive in my life. So if I got big, I wouldn't know what to do. It'd be like if a dog caught the car it chased. I don't know what the fuck to do with this thing.
Yeah.
I did it. Here I am. I'm like, why did you slow down? I don't know. So yeah, that's my whole spiel. Like, so I mean, to anybody out there, like who follows me or or these guys, like, thank you. You guys do a lot for us, and I just want to say that out loud.
I agree.
Sorry, that got a lot heavier than I thought it would.
How do you think you would handle the situation if you like did get big on Twitch and you became an influencer?
Well, first I cry.
I would love
second,
to see that. I love watching.
I'd stop like an hour and be like, why are you guys following me? I'm an idiot. It's like, I'm sorry. This is bad entertainment. I'm a moron. You should probably find somebody else to follow. No, I'd be thankful. I'd thank people way too much. I get annoying about it.
Well, at least, now we know. I also didn't know how old you were, so now I can do the math.
I'm going to be 33 this May.
I was just about to say I was gonna say 33.
Yeah, I'm gonna be 33 this May.
You are the oldest person.
Which is weird because I don't act like it.
You would think like Schlitter would be the oldest, with how he
Schlitter
acts.
carries himself like an adult.
Yeah, he does. We don't carry ourselves like adults at all. Definitely not Apollo or me or you. Speaker a little bit.
I'm barely an adult.
Yeah, you're only like 22.
21.
Yeah, you're young.
I'm 22 in May.
I'm feeling it though. I'm sure Artie's feeling it. The age coming on.
Nah. Especially not when I hang out with you. Like when I hang out with you guys, like age is never even a thought in my mind. I have to remind myself that Apollo's a bit younger than me, like by almost actually by a decade.
Yeah,
by more than a decade. But I mean, like I just don't feel the age. Like when I'm like doing this, like it's just me. It's my personality. That's all I feel.
It's us. It's us as friends. We're a family.
It's also like, just like we all have the same hobby, not relating to age whatsoever, with like gaming, and then like anything else we obviously have in common too.
And you know what's crazy? Is that there's people that think like online friends aren't friends, and that's so bullshit. That they couldn't be more wrong. I think my online friends are closer than any friends I've ever had in my life. Same. Because I feel like, with online friends, this is just kind of like saying in general, but there are things I could tell you two that I could say, and sure, you could go tell the other guys, but nobody in my real life would ever know.
I think that's a good that's a fair point. I think especially due to COVID where being inside and cooped up and everything, like having an online like friend group, I felt a lot closer with like especially like everybody in our group recently. I would say like a lot of my online friends are about as close as my real life friends.
Mhm.
I feel like thanks to COVID, some of my real life friendships have kind of like drifted a little bit, which I need to nip in the bud when I can. But yeah, I to discount relationships that you just have online is I think it's a silly thing.
It definitely is. And I think it just comes with older generations. Because like I understand if when they're like I don't get it, like how you could have friends that you're never gonna see. You might never see, who knows? But then there's like, and I get it, maybe one day I'll be like I don't get it. I mean, I've already had that situation where I'm like I don't get it. Like I don't get TikTok. I don't get it. Which is I was like fuck, I'm turning into my mom kind of situation. And I'm sure Apollo loves TikTok for all I know.
I don't. I have no idea what's going on. Anytime I see one, I'm like, why are they just staring at a camera?
Why are they just? Isn't that what you do for a living right now? You just stare at a camera, as the adults
But
would
they
say.
like just stare. No, but they stare at a camera and there's like background music playing, and then they're just staring at the camera and nothing else.
And they're just like moving their shoulders
for like
and shit.
10 seconds, maybe even. And I'm like, why does this
Mouthing
have like
mouthing
3 billion
words.
views?
I know, right?
Yeah. Well,
Fuck.
yeah.
TikTok.
I think with
things.
everything,
For some people.
I think with everything else, it just comes down to like, do you have experience in the thing? Because there's a ton of things that I
Yeah.
don't get, but I also like.
But see, what was it? It was before TikTok. It was Vine. Vine was huge.
Yeah.
And I was into Vine.
Well, I think TikTok's slowly starting to become like that thing that filled the void when Vine died too.
There's
Because-
some, yeah.
Yeah, well, I think Apollo's just about to say it too. There are a lot of people that are like bridging like with TikTok, like people did on Vine, like doing the same kind of stuff.
There's also like, yeah, like the kind of like some TikToks will kind of mirror how I guess like Vine.
Well, there are some
culture, I
good
guess maybe you would say.
TikToks. There's some TikTok people where I'm like, yeah, that's kind of funny.
I just personally like dealing like my relationship with TikTok and how I kind of prefer it is just not being on TikTok, and then like I'll find like our friends, or like I'll just say on YouTube like the actual good TikToks will link to me, and then I can find them that way, and that's works out for me.
You're
But,
circumventing
yeah.
the whole algorithm by just like having it being brought to you.
Yeah, exactly.
That makes sense. And then, yeah, that's about. My bad. I was looking at something. That's about like it. I feel like when we get older, I feel like our perspective will change. And I've always been curious if like when I get older, will I be able to keep up with like the new stuff?
I think it's the way you prepare yourself now. I'm trying to, as things keep going on, I'm trying to like keep a very open-mindedness to everything to try and like not automatically discount like things because I don't understand it.
Mm-hmm.
Like if I don't understand it, then like I could have it explained to me by somebody who does understand it.
Yeah.
I could take some time and research it, or like just jump in and see what it's like. I mean,
like
I'm trying to like just to change the way I view things because I am starting to get older and I don't want to be that grump that's like, oh well, back in my that's not how things work, and it's not how I want my life to work. So, I mean, I used to be really closed-minded about things too, and I've been trying to work on it really hard, especially in like the last 8 years. Like, oh well, this is a new thing. Well, let's pay slight attention to it.
Yeah, I get you. I actually like I've had things explained to me. Like I think it was Apollo and Medusa. Like I'm completely supportive of everything, just like our the norm of our generation should be. I don't know if you are in our generation actually. Like, would you be in me and Apollo's a generation technically?
I'm technically a millennial. So what are you guys? Gen Z?
Are we Gen Z? We're 90 babies.
I don't know what I
If
am.
you're 90, I think if you're 90 babies, you're right there with me.
Yeah, well, like I was a literal baby in the 90s, and by that I mean half of a
By
year.
the time
in
2000 came, I was 3 years old, so I could poop in the toilet.
When the time 2000 came, I was 12, so maybe not.
Oh wow! You were learning about the world
even,
by the time that I could like pee in a toilet and feel good about
well,
it.
I mean, I've been around a little while. I won't
And then
lie.
when I'm 80 and I pee in the toilet, I'll still feel good about it because I'll be like, man, I made it this time.
I didn't miss. Woo!
But then but no, I'm very open to learning things, and with nowadays our culture being very, what's the word that people use nowadays with our culture? It's being very not accepting, but
Progressive.
very progressive culture and a very accepting, and it's very about gender a lot right nowadays. Gender is a huge issue with things, and I didn't really understand non-binary because it wasn't something I like ever heard growing up or like really understood because I was never like affected by that. And so I had to have Apollo explain it to me. And even then I was still kind of like, well, yeah, I get it and then I don't get it, but I'm not going to be anti-support because I don't get it. Like I'm not an asshole. If someone comes to me and says I'm non-binary, I'm going to be like, fuck yeah, you do you. It doesn't bother me, so why should I not support it? And I think that's how people should be. But that's sadly not how people are. But I think if it's not bothering you, which it shouldn't at all, there's no way it should ever bother you. Like I get it, if some people don't like, PTA. Is it PTA? Public display of affection. Public display of affection.
PDA.
PDA. Like I'm sure
Close.
that can bother
Yeah.
you, sure. Like some people don't really like seeing that kind of stuff. Definitely if you're like, you're single or something, you're just rubbing salt in the wound at that point. But if it's not bothering you when you're at home chilling on your couch watching your fucking football and stuff, or your soap operas or your drag shows, then it shouldn't bother you in general.
Um, about the whole thing, I think the hardest part for me is like learning the pronouns. I'm not the best at it, but I'm trying really hard. Like you said, part of being like keeping open mindedness is like listening to the argument. Yeah, I being as old as I am, a lot of this stuff is like brand new, and maybe not brand new, but like more like brand new to like general public.
Mm-hmm.
And
There's
it's
like a spotlight getting shone on it now, rather
yeah,
than it would be.
like it's under a hyper focused lens, and I'm starting to listen. And I mean, I agree. I mean, if it doesn't negatively affect anyone, then what's the point? I guess like the whole point of non-binaries, as it was explained to me, is you just don't like the tag. You want to wake up in the morning and do what you feel like doing, and you don't want to be under these gender norms that like pressure you into acting or responding or treating yourself a certain way. So you're like, fuck it, I don't need the title or the tag. I want to wake up and I want to get in a dress and put on some makeup. Well, today I feel a little bit grungy. I want to like just kind of grunge it out, like wear a tank top and shorts and just do whatever. It's like and if pronouns are so important to someone you care about, shouldn't you like at least give the respect
Definitely.
to at least try to learn that? I mean,
Even if it's someone you don't like, respect, or care about, if they just want you to call them one
Just
thing,
just be
it's so
human.
easy to.
Just be a human.
And like, if you're being respectful about it too, it would be rare for someone to get like actually mad or upset about you for like accidentally calling them the wrong pronoun like
Yeah, sure.
once or twice. As long as they see that you're actively trying, respecting them, all that, they probably would be fine with it.
It's fine making
Unless,
mistakes.
I mean, even if they were having a bad day and snapped at you, like
Yeah.
what's it gonna cost you? Like, oh man, I'm sorry. Like, let me apologize. Let me fix that kind of thing. I apologize. I realize I've disrespected you. Let me shift that. Like,
And
let me try to make your day slightly positive.
I think it comes down to pride. People are very prideful and they don't like admitting they're wrong.
Why? Like, none of us are perfect. Like, that's something I don't get because like I'm a person that like constantly is in the wrong sometimes. And when it happens, like, oh well, I'm human. Yeah, I'm wrong. I'm sorry. Like, teach me how to fix it. Like, there's nothing wrong with being wrong or being ignorant. People
Yeah.
have this negative scope on ignorance. Like, well, I can't be ignorant because it's bad. Well, yeah, it's got a negative aspect to it, but like everybody's ignorant about something. You're not born and you don't know everything about something. If you want to be informed, that's actually better than knowing it in the first place, I think.
There's also the difference between like ignorance and willful ignorance, where like there
Right.
is something and you're like, no, I don't want to learn about that, and it's like,
Then you're just
why?
an
Like,
asshole. And then you're
yeah,
part of the
I mean,
problem.
Yeah, like I can understand. Like obviously, not everyone has to go and research like gender and how that all works, and like
No.
every single different like portion of like the LGBT plus community and stuff like that. But like it's it's a bit like I'd say willful ignorance would be like if someone's bringing it up in conversation and you literally stop them and be like, I don't want to hear any of this
Yeah, I
because
mean,
I don't want to know
if it's
about
Like
it.
someone, if
Jake,
it's someone you care about, like, wouldn't you want to take the time out of your day to learn something new?
well, yeah, and I get that,
Simple stuff like that.
and I
I mean, I'm not trying to give a negative aspect on anybody here or anybody we know.
no,
Like, it's just
I think we surround ourselves with people that are very accepting, and I don't think we've ever had to really deal with, these. At least I haven't yet, because I have a lot of. I'm lucky enough to not have to deal with the kind of stuff that Apollo could have to deal with being, he's gay. Apollo is gay, in case nobody knows, and like
I know it's so hard to figure out.
it's very, definitely with the way he talks. He sounds more gay than you
Yeah,
sound Irish.
see,
yeah.
I didn't actually like if I didn't come into I'm very very blunt and stupid about things. If it weren't such like a plastered like all over on a stream the first time I saw him, I would not have known. Like I don't pay that close attention to things.
Mm.
Was it the
Like
Easter bunnies that gave it away all over his stream during the middle of like December?
Flamboyant pink Easter bunnies.
I think he literally said the first stream I came in, "I'm gay." I mean,
I'm
so
gay.
I mean,
Hi.
it was about as blunt as it could be.
There is like a gay sound alert that I have that I think like because I got it from someone else because it's just like how sound alerts work. I'm sure the person who made it probably isn't actually gay, and they could have like used it as like a joke. I'm just reclaiming that shit. I'm like, okay.
I think it's
yes,
supposed to be
gay.
like supposed to sound like Zenyatta or something.
Well, it is. It's like a mashup of his like voice lines to make him say you are gay.
Oh, I see.
So I'm like, yeah, true.
That makes sense. And then, but no, I feel like, yeah, I don't think you've had the issue on your Twitch where anybody's ever come in and been homophobic.
No, luckily, like I don't know. I definitely probably haven't like been big enough for that to happen at all. I feel like that's definitely something that more like kind of like big. Well, not like huge. Well, definitely the huge ones, but like even just like mid tier levels of like knownness that they'd have to deal with. It would be a lot of effort for a homophobe to have to like click onto the LGBT tag on whatever game I'm streaming, somehow scroll through the entire list of like everyone, find my stream, and then come in and say something homophobic.
And then
Like,
you already have like
maybe
all
going
your
out of the
mods
way.
there ready to like get rid of
yeah,
them.
and like because I kind of do, I guess, advertise it so much. That's probably not the best word, but like because I do that, no one's going to like. It's not going to be a homophobe just casually stumbles into my stream and then 2 streams in find out I'm gay and then they start acting up, because that's just not going to happen.
No.
So I feel like generally speaking, if there is someone who popped into my stream who isn't okay with gay people, they've probably just left.
Probably.
Right. I mean, I don't want to like name anybody out or anything, but I've seen like somebody on a mutual stream that has kind of like been, oh really, you're gay, and then left. But I mean, I don't think Twitch or like social media as a community and as a whole is very not open. You find like a lot of people on social media is actually like very very open, unless you go to I believe finding someone that is intolerant is more difficult than finding people that are tolerant here on social media. Like at least that's like where the places I've been and I've seen like there's a lot of tolerance out here online.
Yeah. And then fuck, I was gonna say something. Continue whatever you're talking about because I completely forgot what I was gonna mention. Oh
I
wait.
can say like on. Oh,
Yeah.
I was gonna say like on that note, I'm fully aware too that because I am like gay and like not like as like not the like could be straight gay almost type thing, like I am also aware that a large portion, I don't know if a large portion, but like there's definitely a portion of straight audience who wouldn't watch me because of that.
Well,
And
yeah.
that's for the most part that's okay too, because like I generally like watching people who are LGBT. Like other than the people I know, obviously, if I'm like looking for a stream, I'll probably look through the LGBT tag because
Mhm.
you want someone you can like relate to, talk to, know stuff about. So like, I think that's generally okay.
But do you think
If
so? Okay, so you said you'd rather watch someone who's also gay.
or just like at least in the community
I see. So like,
of like LGBT
so as long as
plus.
you prefer watching someone who supports like LGBT. I
Yes,
don't know like the right way
I
to sound
I
because
would
I'm making you sound like an asshole right now.
I think
no
what
no
Paul is
like
trying to say is more like he wants someone to relate to versus like he only
yeah
prefers, you know?
because
Yeah.
I mean just, culturally like there is and I think this maybe is something that doesn't get talked about a whole lot. There's a lot of cultural differences between like straight like the straight
Oh
cisgender
yes,
that
definitely on
community and
streams.
like LGBT plus.
Definitely on streaming, it is so different. Like the whole
Yeah,
diversity, which is cool. Like that's awesome. If everybody was the fucking same, everybody'd be a fucking robot. You know,
Right.
it's
I
like working
mean,
at McDonald's and you're like, "Hi, how can I help you today?" It's like, "Oh, I've heard this a
mm,
thousand times. How about you mix it up a little bit?" And that's what like streaming is like. I can go to Artie's stream and he is a giant goofball with a family and
it's
kids, and I
true.
get to learn that. And then I go to Apollo stream and it's just flamboyancy and butt talking about anals and shit like that. It's so different. I don't know how he's not banned yet. Let's be honest. Sometimes.
honestly, I'm like every time Twitch lets me make even a cent from their platform, I'm like surprised. I'm like,
I mean, Apollo's not the only person I've ever heard say like naughty language before.
Oh no.
I've frequent a lot of streamers and content creators that use very colorful language.
Oh
it
yes.
goes
So,
beyond naughty language. It's naughty storytelling.
We've
well, I
talked
mean,
about some shit. I call him DP for a reason sometimes.
oh my god.
When have you ever called me that?
It's been in voice chats. I'm almost certain I've called you DP before.
No,
Yes, I have.
no,
Maybe you don't remember.
not that I've known about.
Or I make fun of
Maybe
you
Apollo
for it
just
at
like
least.
immediately like just
Or maybe I just
completely
zoned it
erased it
out.
from his memory.
I've made fun of you about it a few times.
Probably. I mean, it's infactual. I will say, without
Infactual.
going into it, because I think YouTube is a bit more like prissy about that stuff.
Yeah,
It's not factual.
not factual. Okay.
That nickname, no.
Wow. We have kind of went like okay, so I want to actually go back to the zombie thing.
Zombies.
Yeah, I want to go
Zombie
back to the
thing?
zombie things. I actually had a couple questions. So now that we've gotten on the whole like thing about zombies, I want to know what are your guys' favorite movie? Like pick one favorite movie about a zombie genre, and I'd like to know one favorite video game series or just game in general, like that revolves around like zombie culture.
Apollo, you can start.
I'll start with the move. Is it okay if I pick a TV show?
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Because I don't really
It's
watch
media.
it. iZombie, by far. I don't know if any of you watched it. It was
I
on
haven't. No.
CW. It's like based on a comic book, and it's basically like CSI if the main character was a zombie.
I've heard of this.
It's
I have
actually
heard
kind
of
of
this.
it's such a good show. It's like based on like high functioning type zombies. It's not. It's like they zombies go like feral basically if they don't get brains. But it's a case of if they eat brains, they take on the personality of whoever's brain they just ate, and they also get memories. So she works in a morgue, and to help solve crimes, she eats the victim's brains and then can get their memories. And then like the taking on the personality is usually like a comedic aspect of it, and it is so good. Oh,
Does that like wear off and she becomes herself again?
yeah, like it wears off after a couple of days, and then she like moves on to a new brain. But the show goes places. It's, I think it's the only TV show that I've cried at.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm a
still
bitch. I
wanna
cried on a bunch of media. Like
I still
media
haven't watched
in
Apollo
general
cry.
kills me.
I need to see Apollo cry. That's my goal.
It's hard.
I was like, if I donated 100 subs, would you cry? He'd be like, that's cool. I'm like, fuck
Eh.
yeah.
Yeah. Like I'd be really appreciative of it. I'm just not gonna like.
But over here, if I
crying is not
donated
a-
100 subs to Artie, he'd be bawling his eyes out. He'd be
I'd
like,
be
thank
I'd be
you.
more worried. Like if it were 100 subs in general, I'd be more like I wouldn't be as worried. But if it was you and you donated 100 subs, like did you mean to do that? I'm sorry. Like what am I doing with all this? I don't need 100 subs. No, but if it was like
Yeah.
if all of a sudden I got rated and then like a slew of 100 subs happened, dude, the waterworks are coming. It's
Waterworks are coming.
maybe.
I'd be
I'm
clipping
such a
that
little
over and
baby.
over, like, yes, give me those tears.
I mean, I've been avoiding story time because the first one I have to tell is about Banana and like how he met me, and it was that one's just embarrassing. So
I've already made you cry, Artie.
you did, yeah,
Yeah, it was me and
yeah,
Susie that made you cry,
yeah. You guys are like seriously,
and I didn't
just
even
like
know you then either. I just knew you from
I mean,
Apollo, and I was just like, "Oh, this guy's streaming. Let's just
I
donate a
mean,
shit ton of subs."
I mean, talking about streaming in general almost made me cry. I generally tend
I
to
seem
cry
to,
like easily.
yeah. That
Like
like
I had,
beginning, there was some tears threatening.
I literally had to like choke on my own tongue for a second to stop it. So, but anyway, Brute, you got a movie? You got a
Do I
game?
have a
What do you got?
movie? So you said game series or movie?
Both. I want one from each of you guys.
You
Like
want
one
one
from
from
each
each of
category
you?
from each of you guys.
Maybe start with like the movies or like whichever one you can think of first, and we'll go
Yeah.
back around to.
Um, I think movie wise, I would have to say I'm not gonna be generic and be like, yeah, I like Resident Evil movie because it's not that good of a series movie wise. It's really bad. Um, I didn't like Silent Hill movie. Silent Hill isn't even zombies. Let's be honest.
Kind of. It like it's in the horror aspect, but I feel like it's more supernatural than it is like
Yeah,
zombie.
because it's all
Of course.
psychological.
Yeah.
It's a very psychological trip down a lot of fucked up shit. So I think if I had to go, I really like. Fuck, man. That's such a hard question because there's so much to go off of. And then
Do you want a top 3 instead?
when you go off, like when you put someone on the spot, it's even worse because it's like
Yeah.
now you're trying to think of everything at once, and it's like, fuck, where do I go? I think if it might not be my number one, but one I really enjoy is Shaun of the Dead.
That's a really good one. That's a good choice actually.
I really like the comedy aspects. I love comedy in general. And then you add zombies with it, and it's all fucked. It's just a big.
I mean, I didn't think I was going to laugh and cry as hard as I did at that
Actually,
movie.
and one I do like. Oh shit! It's on Netflix, and it's had like 4 seasons. And it's really really good. I watched it with my uncle. It's like this guy. He's immune to the virus, and they're trying to transport him across the country. Oh no! All right, Apollo. While you do your series, I'm gonna look up the name of this show.
It's Artie that has to do his series next.
Yeah, you're next.
So for media, I'll go with the not the original Dawn of the Dead, but I like the remake a lot. I've seen that one way too many times. It's just something about it, like it's just something about the way they made that movie. It's very visceral and very like dramatic.
I found it.
I also want to like give a shout out to you mentioned earlier Train to Busan. Like in something that came into the zombie game late, great movie.
Oh yeah, it's
But
so good.
my pick's easily the Dawn of the Dead remake.
Oh yeah, that's a good one too. It's called
I
Z Nation, by the way.
I think I've seen that.
It's
I think I've
really,
seen it.
really good.
I
I've only
scrolled
watched
past
like the
on
first
Netflix.
2 seasons, but there's like 4 seasons, and it's like this guy named Murphy, and he can like he starts being able to like communicate with the dead from being bitten because he's immune, and all this crazy shit starts happening, and it's just really good. And it's also like comedy too. Like you got some guy named Doc who's stuck in this like pipe, like this vent tunnel thing that goes downwards, like the tinfoil ones looking shit, aluminum. And there's a zombie stuck in there, and he lights up a blunt and like starts blowing the smoke in the zombie's face to chill it out.
That's ridiculous.
And it works. It works, and it's just great. I was
Oh
like,
my
this is awesome. And there's also some really good scenes where I'm like, holy shit, I didn't think that was just about to happen, but it just happened. And there's a whole society of women in the show too that are like fuck men. So I'm sure Apollo would love that.
You knew you just had to bring that up. Just bring me into it.
Yeah. But
Just
yeah,
just gotta go fishing for Apollo. Just go.
Mhm.
fishing
gotta
for
bring
him.
him in somehow. All right, Apollo.
A game.
Oh, a game. I don't really like playing shooters, so there's not many zombie games I have played. So I think I have to go with Telltale, The Walking Dead.
No, that's a great.
I mean, it's a great game. I think I might have only played the first one.
Telltale
But hey,
definitely
yeah, the first one's
changed.
great.
They brought on a whole new genre of games that like really like changed a lot of shit. going forward.
And like I don't know if that was their first game, but it was definitely like their first big game.
I think their first was like Monkey Island.
I've never even heard of that one.
Yeah,
I have heard that, but like I don't know if it's by the Telltale people.
yeah. I fact check my fucking information.
I mean, yeah, I guess like their first one would have had to be like a non-licensed property. I know they did Jurassic Park, like I'm fairly certain before The Walking Dead.
No, I'm wrong.
Or,
It was
yeah.
the Texas Hold'em game with like a bunch of characters from other games.
Oh wow!
It had like there was two of them, and one had like people like Claptrap and Gladys from like Portal, and like Ash from the Dead, like Ash versus Dead, like all those people. Sam and Max. They had like
Oh, yeah.
a lot of like very famous people from video games. Not very famous, but like indie game, like very, very popular indie game characters. But that was their first. But they definitely got big off of The Walking Dead. Like that's what put them
like
ahead.
that was the first proper
That's
big.
like... Sorry, go ahead.
That was just the first proper big like property that they got their hands on, probably, maybe, or at least like the first game that got.
No, it was. It definitely probably was. It just sucks.
I mean, it wasn't in my head, so
it was a great game, storytelling wise. It was like more than just like a visual novel game, which like when you look at it, it kind of is, because it's just based on storytelling, and you're just kind of like walking from place to place, and there's like a couple quick time events.
I wouldn't call it a visual novel. I'd be okay with calling it something like a visual movie. Like it's like a like a movie with choices.
Yeah, and like sounds real good.
It was surprisingly good. I mean, it was definitely worth a play, even if it gets like puts you in its hand and crushes you.
It's something I'm looking at streaming soon because I own all of them. I bought like all the seasons and the DLCs for like $20 because it was on sale from like the usual $100 it is. And I was like, why not? I'll play it one day, maybe. We'll see.
Wouldn't be that long to play too.
Nah, I wouldn't take that long.
Bert, it's your turn. What game?
Oh, man, there's so many. Fuck. By the way, LCG owns Telltale now.
I think we slightly talked about this either on last time's podcast or like before the podcast. I can't remember which one.
They are making The Wolf Among Us Part 2, so.
Yeah.
And they're doing it all at once, not episodically.
Oh, wow.
All apparently it's all being in develop like right now. So that's interesting.
Probably so much smarter that way.
I think it would be. But I think my favorite zombie game would have to be... I also like The Walking Dead, but I'm really big on the older Resident Evil games. I think my favorite is Resident Evil 4. I love Resident Evil 4. As a kid, it always scared the shit out of me, especially when the first chainsaw guy would happen. I would always put my controller down and be like, well, I'm done. I can't do this anymore. But yeah, I think...
Leon's gonna get his head bopped off. Let's watch.
Oh, yeah. And so I think Resident Evil 4 would probably be my pick. It was also the one I watched my mom play a lot. My mom used to be very heavily into games, which is probably what influenced me to be very heavily into games. And so I think that's probably my pick.
It's a solid pick. I am also a very vanilla person, and I will also go with an entry in the Resident Evil series, except I'm going way older. The original Resident Evil 2 is the first time I've ever seen a horror game. And, like, I think it was, like, 9 or 10. Like, 10-year-old Artie did not know how to react to that. I was hiding under... my father played that game in front of me and my sister, and we hid under the covers, like, the first 15 minutes into the game. It was nuts. I didn't actually go back to complete that game until I was already, like, 15, 16, when I could stomach that kind of thing. Yeah. And I have to like say again, like another shout out to the remake for Resident Evil 2. It's great. Like it's such a good remake, and honestly, there's so minor things wrong with that game. It really brought that like nostalgia back to life.
Oh yeah. Definitely.
It also crushed me that you said an older Resident Evil game and said 4. I realize it's older for some, but man, that hurt me.
Oh yeah, well, because you're old as hell. You're old as dirt.
I am old as dirt. I mean, I've been around. I've been around town for a while. I was
Well-
I was alive when the original Mario Brothers came out. So that's Nintendo. That's it. The original NES, man. I was alive for that.
Yeah,
I
Resident
mean,
Evil 2 came out in
shouldn't miss out.
1998, a year after I was
Yeah.
born.
Yeah, I was 9 years old. So
Oh my
I
god.
was not, I was not
Mhm.
born.
way to
Oh.
put like a nice spotlight on my old ass. So
And then Resident Evil 4 came out in 2005. That's crazy.
bit of a difference.
Yeah, I was like 7 compared to being 1.
Can we talk about like that's only 7 years apart?
But that's so
That's
long.
yeah, that's 7 years apart, and like the graphics jump dramatically. Like,
Well, it went
that's
from
actually-
being like this
But
like
also, like-
weird camera angle perspective to being over the shoulder.
yeah. You had something to say about that, Paula? Sorry.
I don't know. I was gonna say like 7 years because like within 7 years they went from like 2, 3, and 4.
Hmm.
That's pretty like wild when you think of like. Well, I don't know how big or like how complex it would have been to make the games. Because
Well,
obviously there's a lot more going
Look at
into
Kingdom
games
Hearts
at this point.
2 and then Kingdom Hearts 3 release
Yeah, that's
date.
why I was saying like if you think of like in Kingdom Hearts Defense, there was a lot in between that got released.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
they were
true.
working on.
Like,
But like
we were
when
talking
you do
about, like,
think
a
of-
lot.
yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of titles in between 2 and 4 as well, because you had 3, you had Code Veronica, you had Survivor, you had Gaiden, I think. Like there's a ton of different
Resident Evil
different
Outbreak.
versions. The
I will
original
say-
Resident Evil remake as well. That also came out in between that.
Oh,
I
yeah,
will
I
also
remember.
say in Action Defense this now I think about it, they haven't necessarily slowed down. Like they've gotten the Resident Evil 2 remake out, then Resident Evil 7 or like somewhere in mix. I don't really know the dates, and like, but they've all come out within the past feels like 5 years, but that might just because time seems like an illusion right now.
Right.
And like they're bringing out a new one. Yeah, and that's. I mean, when like this new one comes out, that's going to be 4 games released in that time frame. So I guess they haven't really slowed down.
No, Capcom's turning them out like hardcore, man. Just like we gotta keep the mill running.
Yeah, with
I mean-
definitely with their new Resident Evils, like they have hit the money. Like they are doing it very well now, and very smart about it.
Because
Definitely,
they have both. They've got like the classic zombies going on with all the remakes, and they're also like expanding on the series with the new ones.
yeah.
So
Because
it's kind of got
well, look at
both for both.
like 5
fans.
was fine. I was cool with 5, but then 6 was just a fucking train wreck. Like it was not good. It was bad. I don't know if you've played 6, Apollo.
I haven't played. I've played Resident Evil 7.
Okay, that's
That's
fair.
it.
But yeah,
Mm.
6 was a fucking train wreck. I remember playing with my buddy Guac, and there's this mission where you're on this plane, and we're playing at like 4 a.m. in the morning, and I just hear him go, "Why is there zombies on a fucking plane? How did
Because there
this
was
giant?
snakes. Why? There were snakes. Now there's zombies. I mean, come on.
Why is
We
there a
have to
giant
cover-
zombie
The
on
next
this
thing is gonna
plane?
be killer sharks. Come on, keep it the times, man.
Sharknado. I mean, like, think about it.
Does that have a video game?
Sharknado.
It should. I mean, there's Maneater, but like
I mean, that's close enough. You didn't like
Yeah.
Maneater, apparently.
I did. It's just a very like relaxed game that I haven't. Been
Yeah,
in the
eating people is
specific
definitely a
play
relaxed
yet.
game.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then, so what about, you said your game, Artie, was just Resident Evil 2. And so,
The original, yes.
what would be, okay, so let's say right now, there was like, I don't know what it would happen, but there was like a nationwide thing. It was like, the first zombie has been found, yada, yada, yada. Check like your family and friends for bites or anything. What would be like your first reaction? Apollo.
Man, I have to wake up.
I have to wake up.
I don't know. I feel like kind of surreal. Yeah, kind of like same. Like I was like, this ain't real.
It's kind of like COVID. Like when it happened at first, people were like, "What?" You
Like,
know-
I don't-
Oh, that's yeah.
Well, like I know, especially like around my neck of the woods, like there was a lot of people who were like, yeah, we wrote it off real quick. It's like that's impossible. This can't happen in this day and age. Are you serious? And it just kept getting progressively worse and worse and worse and worse. And then eventually everybody was like, oh shit, this is the thing. So I mean, it probably
Like a
happened
big change.
mostly like that. Except less surprise this time. I think it'd be less surprise.
Well, at least we had a warning.
Slightly less, you know. Yeah,
I don't know. I mean, judging by how COVID has gone down, I feel like there'd be plenty of people who'd like write it off and be like, "Oh, just no, that's not even real. Don't even gotta check that." And then suddenly there's a lot of zombies running around because nobody
Huh.
checked for bite
You
marks
think it'd
or
become
like
a
whatever
norm?
the signs would be.
You think it would become a norm sooner or later? Just like COVID to me, I literally, and I hate to say this, I wake up and completely forget about COVID some days. Like there are days where like COVID doesn't even enter my thought process because I'm just so fucking used to it. Where it's just like the only time I'll ever think about it is when I need to put my mask on.
yeah, I can see that.
And then I'm like, I walk out of the house sometimes, forget my mask, and I'm like, oh shit, my mask. Like, I need my mask. Because I didn't even think about that. Because it's just become so much of like a routine. Not a routine if I'm forgetting my mask, more like just the norm to not even think about it or like, which is not good. I don't think it should become the norm. I think it should be something people care about every day. And like, like now there's people like ending mask mandates, and that's crazy to me. We won't get into that if nobody wants to, because I don't know if that
I prefer
answers.
to stay away like for more political aspects of things,
Yeah,
if
that's
that's all
fine.
right.
Yeah, yeah,
And I'm not American, so I wouldn't know.
yeah. That's fine. That's fine. And then, and so I think. So my question is: so let's say a zombie apocalypse happens, right?
Mhm.
And we're able to control it. Do you think this would turn into like a Shaun of the Dead situation, where there's like game shows with zombies and stuff?
Yes,
We're
zombie
as a
zoos.
species, we are pretty goddamn stupid about things. So yeah, I think there'd be a highly likely thing where it could
I think
like
it would be like black market though. Like people would be like black market buying zombies.
at first,
Uh,
yeah, and then I think they'd
mm,
try to make it public if it was big enough. So
I
Like
think it
it'd
would
be like
depend on like it would depend on how the zombies like are they like highly lethal zombies? Are they like kind of slow, dopey, just walking around, flomping around, doing not much
I think if we
to
had highly
infect other
lethal
people?
zombies, like to where like it's kind of like
Like World
not
War
seven
Z,
days a
like
night
20.
30 days later type zombies or like World War Z
Mm.
type zombies, I think we're fucked. It's game over.
oh, if it's 28 days later or World War Z, we're all screwed.
It's over.
Those
There's
are
no way.
extremely high functional.
Yeah, there's no way like the government would be able to contain it in time.
I
You
mean, come on,
turn
they're
in
building zombie pyramids. My God.
they turn in seconds. You turn in literally seconds.
Yeah, it's like it's 10 seconds. Like
And
if you
like
haven't shown symptoms in that long, you're good.
and I think 28 days later is the only zombie movie where I've ever seen like people get infected without bites. Like when
Yeah,
the blood drop hits him in the eye, and he tells his daughter to stand back, and he loves her, and he just instantly turns.
yeah,
Like that's
and that's
crazy.
horrifying. That's enough time to accidentally check on a loved one. They're turning and then turn around. The first thing they do is bite you,
Yeah,
or like spit hazy blood in your face, and then you're gone as
you're
well.
also
So
turning now, which I would
yeah, so
always be wearing a mask,
Mm.
100%.
yeah, be
I'd
a
be
good
wearing a
idea,
full
right?
face mask, like a gas mask, everything. I'd look
Yeah,
like one of those like fucking like people that live in like Antarctica and have like one of those fluffy coats and just full gas mask. Actually, I'd
you'd
wear a
ask.
shark suit.
Gosh.
If sharks can't bite through that shit, ain't zombies gonna do it.
Wow, that's great. Actually, that's a good sign. That's really funny. I like that.
I thought I really did think you meant like a shark onesie, basically. Like you were just gonna dress up as a shark for some
I did it
reason.
first until he explained that the sharks couldn't bite. There's like, oh, I get it. There
Yeah,
he goes, the man
Well,
in rubber.
then my second guess was, oh, he's making a suit made out of sharks. So,
Shark skin, you can't bite through it.
that's what I thought. I was like, oh, is there some like zombie lore where sharks can't be made into zombies?
Little did you know,
Oh.
the indigenous zombie cannot bite through shark skin.
but I never see people think about that. Like, I want to see some man running down the street during a zombie apocalypse just in a suit of armor, just like yeah, motherfuckers
Oh.
can't fuck with me.
I want to see
Sure,
what
you wouldn't.
animals they're doing during a zombie apocalypse. Like,
Well,
I want like a zombie polar bear
I I
Ah,
recently
chasing
did like
someone down.
I watched this video about what the fuck's the movie? It's like it's in New York City and like he's trying to it's Will Smith.
Stuart Little.
Will Smith. He's trying to
Oh,
find
I Am Legend.
I Am
I am
Legend.
legend.
They're
Yeah.
not zombies, they're vampires. Big difference.
Yeah, I mean they're kind of both, but yeah.
Well, because in the books, they're like high society functioning.
Oh yeah, the book is completely different though
Oh yeah,
than
in
the
the
movie.
books, he
Like,
gets
in the
fucking
movie,
executed.
they're much more like you don't get their zombies in the movie. I heard in the books like it's very clear that they're actually more vampiric than zombie-ish.
Yeah, and in the books, they like execute him for like crimes against their humanity and stuff.
Yeah, I mean that makes sense. He's kind of like killing them off
Yeah,
repeatedly,
and
like
like
capturing them and doing weird experiments on them that they probably don't understand anymore.
no, not at all. And like the movie is very different. I remember seeing the movie when I was like 8 or 9, and was like, I don't know what else came out of that time, but it was a kids movie, and I was like, we're gonna go see that. Person was like, nah, we're gonna go see this, and I was like, oh fuck, I'm gonna pee myself.
I mean, horror. I did not come into horror like expecting a good time. I came into horror screaming and crying like a baby,
My
and then
first
after a while, it just kind of like became me.
my first ever horror movie, and it's not really horror, was Kill Bill. And I walked in, I'm like the woman getting shot through a cereal box, and then just 180 walked out of the room like, nah, this ain't for me. I'm like 5 years old. I'm not doing this.
My horror experience was Child's Play, and that's why I'm afraid of dolls and animatronics. So
What
The
about you,
lore
Apollo?
behind it.
What was your first horror movie?
I can't quite remember. I know the most like vivid memory I have is Texas Chainsaw Massacre. As like a kid,
The
there was
Hills
so,
Have
like
Eyes.
I'd watched horror movies, but I remember that being like the first that I was like I can't sit through the entire thing.
I don't think
But
I've
I've
ever
also
sit.
really
I don't think I've ever sat through that entire movie. Because isn't it
I
based on a true story?
loosely, yeah.
kind of
It's loosely
the,
based.
the true story it's based off of. I don't think he killed. No, actually, I think he killed one person. But like, and there was no chainsaw involved.
Doesn't he wear their faces?
Leatherface,
Isn't
yeah.
that Bubba
Yeah,
on
Yes,
DVD?
that's Bubba.
Yeah.
yeah.
That's
So
Leatherface.
you know what? Maybe we had this conversation with Medusa Apollo about them adding like real life characters.
That's different though, because like I did watch a video on like the real life guy. So basically, he would dig up bodies, skin those bodies, and then when the police eventually found him, because I think he did kill someone, they found that he had like had lampshades, chairs, like just furniture made out of dead people's skin, and also dresses, I think. So he'd used to like wear their skin and then go and dance like outside and cover himself in blood. I don't know. It was like wild. Oh yeah, it
I
was
didn't
very
even know any of that. That was
That is
fun.
a big, very big like difference between I murdered people with chainsaws to where I dig up bodies and wear their skin because it's fun.
Yeah, well, like 'cause obviously the second one isn't a great movie. It's just weird and sick. Whereas like if you make him out to be a killer, then it's a bit more of a fun horror movie, I guess.
I didn't even think about the Hills Have Eyes. I don't know if you ever heard of that, Apollo.
I don't think so.
It is a fucked up horror movie.
I didn't really like it. I thought it was like way too.
Fucked up?
No, it's way too dumb for me. Like
Oh, yeah,
I've
it
seen
is
a
very
lot of.
dumb.
I've
It's-
seen a lot of fucked up, and if you want to talk about classical fucked up, fucking John Carpenter's The Thing is like seriously fucked up.
the Blob.
It's like the best body. It's the best body horror movie, and the remake Blob is actually also really fucked
I haven't
up.
seen the remake. I've seen the original, where like it's like on. I remember like some scenes where like the guys in the hospital room. He's on the phone and the Blob falls on him and
That's
starts
the
tearing his
remake.
face off. Is that the
That's
remake?
the remake. Yeah, and
Oh.
it's really visceral and gross.
Oh, what's the one? Is it the thing where like they're in like Antarctica and they find the
Yep.
alien crash pod and like starts taking shape?
Actually, that's also the remake for The Thing. I'm talking about the original one back in the 80s
I think I've seen it, but I was
with
young.
Kurt Russell. It's amazing. Like it's got amazing cinematography and great fucking puppetry and makeup for a movie its age. Like it's good shit. It still holds up today. Like I would suggest if you haven't seen it, you probably like if you like horror movies, that's a really good one.
Yeah, I can just hold Teo and be like, "We got this, you and me."
You might not want to after you see that one.
Do you think nowadays horror is better than old horror?
No.
No.
I think some movies, especially recently, have actually like escalated to the fact that they got back to where old horror was. But I think there's something special about old horror movies that just where like the ideas were unique and people's own, and they had like some sort of like messed up magic to them. I think horror movies nowadays, like there are a dime a dozen, and there's like 1 out of 100 is a true gem.
What would you say, like, what's been some of the better modern day horror movies then?
Now, I will say, without saying this one in particular, like, don't watch this particular movie unless you really want to get fucked up. But Hereditary is one of those that's like,
I've
holy
heard
shit,
of that.
holy
I
shit,
have heard
this
that.
movie is so fucking messed up.
Is
Holy
that the one
shit.
about the mother and like the kid she finds or something?
It's about a family. I'll say that much.
Hereditary.
And about dealing with grief and death in the most horrible way and fashion ever.
I think a movie that
But
really fucked with
that
me.
one, like, that movie literally in the first 15 minutes had my jaw to the floor, and like I'm extremely uncomfortable, and I'm not getting more comfortable as the movie goes on. I'm getting increasingly less comfortable.
Can I say, I forget the name of it. What's A Quiet Place?
Quiet
That was
Place,
great.
great.
That was really good.
Yeah. Like that's another one where it's like, wow, this is actually. I will say the first one, I do have a like kind of a grief with it. It is the best way to end a good horror movie with a really cheesy cliche like what the fuck was that ending?
I think Bird Box is really good.
That was another one.
There was one that I watched, and this was like when I was younger, and I watched it with my friend and his mom, and by the end she was like, "I don't want to watch this anymore." I can't remember what it was. I can't remember the name of it, but at the end of the movie, the young daughter like mowed over her family with a lawnmower. Sinister.
That's another amazing.
Yeah,
I
that
love
movie
Sinister.
is fucked.
It's
All
really
of them
messed
are
up.
fucked.
Like those movies in a handful. I think those are like the ones I'm talking about that really
But then you
got
got
back
stuff
to
like You're Next or um what's the one? There was one I kind of liked a little bit. It was more modern. It was like she accepted this person's friendship on Facebook and like
Unfriended.
unfriended. I was like
Yeah.
I was on the fence about it. I don't think it's bad. I think
It's a fun idea.
yeah, it was a cool idea and I liked how they definitely weren't scared to like go deep with it with like all this weird shit. But I think it could have been easily solved kind of situation where like if some creepy bitch with no friends is like, "Hey, you want to be my friend?" I'm be like, "No, fuck, you fucking weirdo." Easily solve that situation.
Well, like let me actually pose a question to you guys about like what I said about how like current horror movies aren't as good as the other ones. Can you think of a current modern day horror movie villain like a slasher type that's as big as like say Freddy or Jason or Michael or Leatherface? Can you think of another icon that's about that?
Babadook. Would be like probably the closest somewhat.
Babadook, yeah, the Babadook.
I like, but like that's almost a meme because he's a gay icon.
I still don't think like it actually like touches
No,
the
like,
majesty
The
of those killers.
Babadook movie
Not at
was
all.
really emotional.
The Babadook's another one that I actually really enjoyed because of the fact that it's very different.
Yeah, and
Like,
it definitely was like I don't think it was a targeted audience, but I could get it. Definitely if you're a single mother, that movie's gonna like paranoid the shit out of you, I think.
Yeah.
But it's definitely like it's a fucked movie. It's one of those like it's not good acting, but it's so the story and everything around it's good. I didn't like the acting that much.
I think the acting was phenomenal. I think the child and
I
the
think
mom both like
I think the
incredible.
acting gets better near the end of the movie, like the midway point. And I think the way she solves everything is great. Where she's like, "Let's play our favorite game," and the creature's like, "Oh fuck, I'm fucked," and now they're just having like this stare off, and it's so tense. It's like so much tension, and like now you're feeling. That's when I like was like, "Yeah, this is a good movie. This is a really good movie." I think the acting's not terrible. I think at the beginning it's more of like it was kind of okay, and then as the movie went on, the acting got a lot better.
Yeah, I mean,
And it could just be a situation where like the cast didn't know each other that well, and maybe the beginning of the movie was filmed first, and as they got to chemistry better, the movie got better.
How do you guys feel about the movie It Follows?
I loved that. Well, I wouldn't say loved it, but like I definitely enjoyed
What is that
it.
about?
I was gonna mention it.
It's about basically a sexually transmitted
Ghost.
killer ghost that will follow you and murder you if it catches you. I'm not joking. That's literally
And the only way to not die is by having sex with someone else and passing it
true,
on.
because you can technically run forever, but who the fuck
True.
would do that?
You would just
And
die in your
it's
sleep.
invisible, so you don't. It's invisible, so you never know when it's going to catch up to you.
Yeah.
I think another
It
good
was a fun concept.
movie
And
was
like good
Insidious.
execution.
It's what?
Insidious.
I that was actually one of the ones that flew under my radar. I didn't actually ever see that one.
Oh, it's so
I
good.
didn't see it, but I heard it's scary.
It is scary, and I think it would relate to Artie a lot having kids. It's kind of like it's about like I'm always terrible at explaining stuff, but it's like this kid's able to like leave his body when he's asleep, and he gets stuck in this like spiritual world, and his dad has to go save him, and it's all like these ghosts trying to enter his body and take over him, and it's all like this crazy stuff.
I did see that. That's the one, and they like pictures or like the flashes of a camera play a part in it, right?
Yeah, and it has like the red
Yeah,
face
that's how
demon.
they have like they go through the pictures and they see like this face following the guy
Yeah,
getting closer and closer as he's growing up. I
yeah,
think to the dad maybe. Yeah, I do recall that. That was pretty good.
it was a
Yeah.
really good movie.
And also,
Yeah.
Artie, in terms of you asking like any like current day like villains, I guess that are as big as them, there aren't any, and that's probably why we're getting like a lot of the remakes of the older films.
True. It's true.
I don't
with,
think
like,
a
new
film
Saw
needs to have a
movies.
slasher though.
Well, I mean, like, but at the same time, those movies are still like horror movies, and it's still something like when you go watch them, you're scared. I mean, but
Mhm.
I guess I can't. Like, I guess it's not fair because there's a lot of like standalone horror movies that do really well as well.
Mhm.
I mean, we just named a few of them off the top of our head, like the Babadook. Sinister has another one that's in there that's a standalone. Kind of has its own like boogeyman type deal, but like it's not somebody that you immediately like remember. Like, I feel like you remember the kills in Sinister more than you remember the boogeyman himself.
And then there's like also
Mm-hmm.
TV shows that are pretty good horror, like American Horror Story was really good, or Bates Motel. I never watched Bates Motel, but I heard it's amazing.
You know that one of the modern
That's a remake, I
horror
think.
movies that I actually enjoy that like a lot of people that I talk to a lot of people about is The Mist.
Oh, The Mist is great.
I think literally everything about that movie is completely B-rated horror until the very end. I think the ending literally
The
like
ending saves that
elevates
movie.
the entire movie. It doesn't save it. I wouldn't say saves it, but it definitely elevates the shit out of that movie.
In the book, there's the book. It's a Stephen King book, by the way, Apollo.
Mm-hmm. I know.
I think that oh shit factor in the end of the movie definitely helps it. I think it definitely is a B-rated movie. The acting's not bad. I think the acting's good.
No, it's not B-rated acting. I'm just saying like the premise of the movie is very
Oh yeah.
B-rated.
Have you watched the series, like the show series?
I have not, but I hear it's like kind of picking up steam.
I haven't watched it yet. I don't know if it's getting like a season 2 or whatever, but it's something I've looked at. I just like.
Are you talking about like the Mist TV series?
I think it's
Yeah.
called The Mist.
Okay. Yeah. I'd seen like an episode or two of it. I was like, okay.
But yeah, I like The
I didn't
Mist.
like
That was a
watching
good
it,
one.
yeah.
I never watched the remake of Pet Cemetery, if that even happened.
I didn't either,
I
but
did.
I want to just for John Lithgow.
Another
did 'cause
thing
I got it for free.
that I never watched, and I almost watched it. Like we started watching it with some friends, but we never watched it. We got like 2 minutes into it. Was The Shining?
That's a classic.
It is, and I'm upset I've never watched it yet.
I have to watch Doctor Sleep, which is apparently is a sequel to the original song.
So I'm gonna end soon, but there's something I want to discuss. If you guys are fine with that, and it's something that like I've been seeing going around, but I have no clue anything about it. Dr. Seuss.
What?
What's going on with Dr. Seuss?
I don't know.
I don't know.
People are trying to cancel Dr. Seuss.
Did he do something messed up?
He's dead, so I don't know. How does somebody who's dead do something messed up?
I don't know. Hitler's technically dead, and look what he did.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
I'm
guess.
sure that people found something in his works that maybe a little bit off.
Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe they don't like green eggs and ham. I don't know.
I don't know. Like I don't know.
Or
Like I try not to pay too much attention to cancel culture because I mean, it's stuff that doesn't really involve me. I mean,
No.
I don't like getting involved with things that don't directly involve my life. So
Yeah, that makes sense. But
it's just added stress. That's all it is, and I try to like keep relatively stress free on that.
I think I'm gonna do like a little bit of research into it. Probably won't be something we discuss on a podcast unless it's juicy as fuck. But
Well, depending on how it is, I may actually bow out of that one because you know how I feel about super controversial.
well, apparently, like
topics.
they're not making any more of his books. Like they stopped
Well,
like producing his books.
dead.
Well, he's dead.
Like they're not
So-
making any more copies of his books. So that's what
Well,
made me interested because I was like, wait, what? Like, isn't he like? Apollo didn't even know Dr. Seuss was a real person. Like
Yeah,
a
I
week
found
ago.
out he was a real person incredibly recently, and by that I think I mean yesterday.
Yeah, he had no idea Dr. Seuss was a real person.
I think that was also in the last podcast. I think it was last week you found out.
It may have been. I don't know. He's been getting mentioned a lot for some reason. I guess because of this whole canceling thing.
Give me like 5 minutes.
Didn't even know he was real.
All right,
He's not
thank
even
you.
a real doctor.
I'll be out there in a second.
Oh goodness.
All right, well, I think I'm gonna wrap it up because I have food and my dog's freaking out because people. And so, thank you guys for being here. Okay, come here. All right. If you are interested in these two guys, they're going to be their Twitch and other information will most likely be down in the description below. And we will see you again next week. I don't know if Artie will definitely be here. We're gonna have a special guest, and Apollo will be here because Apollo will always be here. He has no say.
You're trapped, Apollo. You're trapped. Run.
Try to spun too fast.
But yeah, thank you all for hanging out.
Thanks for the invite, man.
Of course. All right. Bye. Say bye to you. Bye bye. All right. Bye everyone. Bye bye.